And if we finish early, we finish early.
Because I'll probably have a hard out at 11:30. So we gotta be done by then.
I'm hard too.
That's all right.
I got a hard in scheduled for 12.
Terrible choice by me. I should know better with this crowd.
You and the Hardys.
No,
Carl's Jr.
I don't even think they have Hardee's around here, do they?
No.
Millville.
No.
There's one. That's the only one I know. There is one in Millville.
You going to Millville?
Am I no?
Hardee's is the greasiest shit ever, by the way. It just...
Good to know. I'm excited I get In and Out next month, so I'm real pumped.
Where are you getting that?
Vegas.
Oh. I like Five Guys. I think it's just better.
But In and Out's cheaper.
True. But you're in Vegas, so who gives a shit? I mean, you know.
Well, I got it. That's more money to lose at the tables.
Oh, okay.
But I can get Five Guys whenever. I can go right now. Well, not right now. It's probably closed. But I could theoretically go when we finish this if Brian ever fucking starts the show.
Calm down. Get there.
And I was like, "Why? Who joined?" I was like, "Why is Josh?"
No, it's the timer. It's the timer.
He's here to talk about that fucking Harry Potter game. I'm trying to remember how to get it to the street there.
Double click on the...
No, I double clicked and then it made Andy real big.
Oh yeah, yeah. You were talking about Hardee's earlier, right?
Bringing it back around. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bry Guy and Super Friends. I'm your host, Brian Labick. Joining me for this episode is someone who's already written off Skull and Bones, so I'm curious what pirate game will fill the void, Andy Stoles.
What's up, podcast people?
Next up, he's been actively clearing out his back catalog, so I'm really curious what he's got left. Mike Bradley.
Hi.
Finally, I'm wondering if I pick a game that isn't something in the Yakuza series, Ian Leidick.
It's time to rise up, Super Frienders! Demand the release of the Ian Cut!
The Ian Cut of what? Just this podcast?
The Morbius review!
Oh, God.
We've all been waiting! The powers that be won't let it free! Tweet hashtag release the Ian Cut.
God, okay. I can't wait till we get one hashtag and it's you. That's... No, two. I bet you Andy will do it too. I will see two of this hashtag. All right, so we're back after a bit of a break. We're here to talk about a problem I think most gamers run into. Their ever-growing list of back catalog games to play. So I know we've joked about it on the show before. We're going to talk about it. We talk about it all the time to each other, even off the show, about all the games that we'd like to get to at some point. So we're here to maybe try to help each other out a little bit. The idea for this one is we're going to each go through a list of 5 games that have been sitting on our back catalog. Hopefully the rest of the group can then decide for that person what game they should start from that list. So we'll see if we can all agree on something or if it's just going to say fuck it and you can just pick one yourself and play one of the 5. But either way, we're hoping to get some decisions made by the end of this. So the 5 games that each person lists are not meant to be the highest rated games or highly reviewed out of their back catalog. It's just more like if you put all your other games that you're playing aside and you reach for something out of your back catalog, what are the first 5 games that you are trying to reach for? And then after some back and forth with these guys, we kind of decided on you don't have to own the game, but for it to make the list for you not owning it, it has to be something that you would own if you're intending to play it. But if you bought it, it's just going to end up on your back catalog anyway, so you haven't purchased it yet. But if we decide that this is something you're going to play, the stipulation has to be that you should be buying it and playing it somehow. Another stipulation we had was it has to be officially released. This has to be a 1.0 build. This is not a beta or a early access game. And lastly, it can't be a game you've already started. This has to be a brand new game because I think we all sort of agreed that the list of games I've started but never finished is completely different, and maybe that's something we can get to another time, but half-finished stuff is a completely different list. So, is everybody clear on that?
Rip Baldur's
Yes,
Gate.
and just real quick, Game Plus and the game subscription services count as well. I think we decided.
Yeah, yeah. So if there's a game on there that you haven't played, that would be essentially sort of like not buying it yet because it'll get your back catalog. So if you have access to that game but you haven't played it yet, yes, I think that counts. I think I'm already impressed, Andy. You said you made a list, right? He's showing us the list. He's
Yes.
wrote stuff down on a piece of paper.
Hold on.
This is new ground.
Let me check my notes.
You could just be crumpling up any paper, like
That's true, but I did actually write 4 lines.
We can
or
hear the
something,
ink
so-
on that.
Yeah. All right. So our sort of way we're gonna do this, one person's gonna go. They're gonna go through their 5 games, and then we'll sort of talk about them and try to decide which one we want to pick for them, and then we'll go to the next person, rinse and repeat until we get through everybody. Any volunteers to go first?
Yes.
I'll do it.
Is that you, or are you? Are you
I
saying
think
yes?
he was
We should
saying
vote.
there will be, but
I mean, no one else said anything, so I said yes.
All right, go ahead.
Yakuza Kiwami 2 Kazuma Kiryu is back in the second remaster and third chronological game of the Yakuza series. I'm 2 games in, and Yakuza is one of my favorite series. You get to play a badass Yakuza movie with dramatic moments that tear your heart while showing the machismo of the Yakuza. The game features a ton of side quests that range from serious to humorous, plus a ton of mini-games.
so
right,
this
there's
is the
one Yakuza game.
third game in the series? Like you said,
There was a prequel,
this is a prequel.
Yakuza 0. No, this isn't. There was.
So
That's
this
why
is
it's the third
So
game,
this
but
is
number
number
2.
2, and you've played 0 and 1.
Correct.
Are you finished with both of those?
Correct.
Okay, so this does qualify as being in your back catalog. I just wanted to make sure, like, if it was something like, oh, I'm just gonna be playing this next.
Did you think Yakuza Kiwami 1's next?
I have no clue. I don't know Yakuza, so I just wanted to be clear that you weren't, like, actively playing the game before it. And you're like, it's not really back catalog if you're just, like, getting to it. You know what I mean?
Understood.
All right, next game.
Heavy Metal Fak 2. Taking place after the 30 years after the movie Heavy Metal 2000, Fak 2 stands for Federation Assigned Ketogenic Kill Zone to the Second Level, and is the alias both of the heroine Julie and her homeworld. A third-person shooter using the ID Tech 3 engine, this game is an over-the-top shooter that tries to do right by its heavy metal lineage.
Heavy Metal, like the cartoon with the chick riding the Pegasus or something.
Dragon, and this is the sequel movie Heavy Metal 2000 to the one you're referencing, Heavy Metal,
Okay.
which are both based on stories from the magazine Heavy Metal.
Okay, and there's a game for it now.
Well, not now. This is very
Okay,
old game.
okay.
It's like 20 years old. It's on the Quake 3 engine.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay, so we've all heard of that game, I'm
Yep,
sure. So
sure.
that's not one of my 3.
Yeah.
Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel, the third route in the Fate Stay Night storyline, one of my favorite anime adjacent universes. Each of the routes takes place in a different version of the universe. This is considered one of the best by many. This visual novel tells the gripping story of the Holy Grail War, where masters control heroes from the past to fight for control of the Holy Grail.
This is part
Yep.
of the Fate Order series, like world.
Fate Stay Night, yeah. And yeah, which is part of the greater Nowverse, which Fate Grand Crusade, Great Grand Order, which I've talked about in my top 10 movies of the year list. That's what you're thinking of. Yeah, it's in the same overall universe, but this is the visual novel, so it's a video game,
Okay.
not a movie.
Gotcha.
Just like how I talked with this with Brian, Kojima's podcast is a video game to me, so I could put that on my list.
But if you're listening to it, it's not in your back catalog.
I haven't started yet.
Oh.
Boom, back catalog. I actually don't know if it's out.
I was gonna say I don't think it released yet.
That no one else knows that. So next, Kojima's podcast. Metro Last Light Redux, the second remastered game in the Metro series by the Ukrainian studio 4A Games, a post-apocalyptic FPS with stealth and survival horror elements. You continue the story of Atrium from the first game, traveling through Moscow's metro system. It is mostly arena combat with multiple routes to get to the next objective. Similar to other horror games Like Resident Evil, the ammo is hard to come by. You are struggling to stay alive.
So have you played the other Metro game? The first one?
I played the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can check it out on Party Bones' YouTube channel. The playthrough.
I do remember you playing it. Yeah, okay.
Hey Dawn Bloodright, a boomer shooter set in a crystal punk underworld that blends the 90s FPS with the exploration and puzzle solving of dungeon crawlers. You play a thick half-orc in what some might call horny Doom, if not for the pornographic Doom mod H-Doom already existing. It features a wide-ranging soundtrack and fast levels that are designed to connect as you progress. That's my 5.
I don't even know. Like, I've only heard of maybe 2 of those.
I could guess which 2.
I think Metro and Yakuza were the 2 that I sound familiar to me.
Yeah, and you only know of Yakuza because I talked about
Yeah. Well, no, because I've seen it advertised a lot of places. So at least I've seen pictures of
Okay.
like the not game case, but title screen type of thing.
And there's some memes from Yakuza that have been around for a while. Like, I've been aware of Yakuza. I just haven't played
I don't
it.
think Brian sees those.
Yeah,
things. I
no.
don't think he's on that part of the
Like
internet.
I'm sure they exist, but I don't think I've seen them. Yeah, I don't know.
I say play the heavy metal game.
The last one you described is like, well, that sounds like it's up Ian's alley. I feel like you should start that one. But I remember you streaming, I think, the other Metro game, so that's sort of where I'm leaning. If you need a break from Yakuza, because I think you were going through some other Yakuza games recently, right?
It's been several months since I beat the first one.
Okay.
I've been going through Persona right now and Stellaris.
Okay.
I think
I don't know. I'd probably pick one of those 2. So we've already got 3 different games that no one can agree on. So Andy, I don't know where you fall.
I was actually with the heavy metal game, so I was actually going to go with that one.
There you go. I think there's your decision.
It is.
2 out of the 3 have
Yeah.
picked a game.
I've been kind of leaning that one too, just because I don't think it's that long.
And it's probably the
Like,
most
Yakuza's
unique.
going to be. Yes, it probably is. I'm really curious what the fuck it is.
I hope it's like all trippy and stuff like the movies are.
In my head, it's going to end up just being like Postal, but a woman.
I mean, what console did it originally release for? I know nothing.
PC only.
PC only. So what era though? Like, are we talking like the
Like,
Xbox era or the?
03, so I guess that's Xbox era?
Yeah, that's Xbox. That's OG
Yeah.
Xbox era.
Yeah, this developer also made the Sin game, if anyone remembers Sin, S-I-N. And they worked on some other ports. They helped work out with one of the Crystal Dynamics games.
So like
And
Gex, like that was Crystal Dynamics,
maybe-
right? Like,
I don't know if they worked. I think this was later, after like 10 years after this game.
oh, okay,
They helped out with Crystal Dynamics, and the studio doesn't exist anymore.
okay.
Makes
Wow.
sense.
And it does feature I think, the level designer of Duke Nukem 3D.
That bodes
Okay.
well. It fits the genre though.
Duke Nukem, remember, 3D is the good one. People like that Duke Nukem, just so we're all clear.
Wait,
I
wait.
heard some laughter.
Forever was the bad one.
Yeah, Duke Nukem 3D was the last good one,
Okay.
and it has 5 people from that team, including the level designer, made this game.
I mean, again, that fits the genre pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And
This might also just be a female Duke Nukem game.
so if it's that might work, but you know, it can't be worse than Legacy of Kain, right? Like that was
One
that
would hope.
era, like toward the middling end of
But-
Xbox's first run.
This could also be Daikatana, so.
I don't remember that one.
That's the one where John Romero is going to make you his bitch.
Oh, okay. I do remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was another id. I think that was id that made that one.
Yeah.
It was that or Ion Storm. A lot of id and ions, huh? So, that's my list. I guess I'm playing Heavy Metal Fuck 2 Federation Assigned Kinetic Chill Zone to the second level.
There you go. One decision made. Mike, you volunteered next. What do you got?
You know, mine is I guess much more mainstream.
That's
let's-
expected. I think. Yeah,
Let's go with that.
we knew
What?
Ian
Mike
would
was-
be the exception here.
What?
So
Everyone has heard of Header on Blood Right.
So at the before the show, I said I had to replace my last one. I'm going to give you guys an option because I wrote down 2. Do we want a sports title or a shooter?
Guess it depends how many other
sports.
I'd say
sports.
shooter.
how many other
Sports.
shooters do you have on your
Yes.
list?
1.
I want to pick the. I want to tell you to play the Tiger Woods game, so do sports.
I got one
I'm
and one.
curious
Brian.
what the sport is, so
All right,
I'm going to go
we'll do
sport.
that. We'll do that. Okay.
Oh, I hope it's Football Manager.
First on the list is Alien Isolation. This is a survival horror game, kind of to the max, that I've been hearing about for a long time, and I just see it sitting there on Xbox Game Pass every time I open up that list, and it's like I really want to hop into it, and it's like I just know that it's going to be a grind. Like some of the survival horror games like that are like, it's really easy to start them, but then you're going to hit a spot where it's just going to be a pain in the ass. And I have heard it's quite difficult. So I'm in that zone of like, I want to start it, but it's that hesitation because it's going to be a pain in the ass that I've kind of held off on. But I've been looking at it for probably a couple of years. Like, damn it, I need to play this game.
I want to say that's a game that I heard mixed reviews on.
I haven't heard anything bad, personally.
Well, I always get it confused with Aliens Colonial Marines, which was the really bad Aliens game.
That's the one I was thinking had really mixed reviews. Sorry.
yeah.
Yes.
The Alien Isolation is a survival horror where you basically have no way of fighting back. Like, if the xenomorph catches you, you die.
Yeah, like it should be.
Yeah, like they're
Unlike the current Aliens 4-player co-op game on Game Pass.
well, that's more James Cameron Aliens. This is more Ridley Scott. You know, and I like that there's both options out there, but I prefer the horror genre to the action genre when it comes to my Aliens.
Ian, you're talking about the Fireteam Elite game, right? Isn't that the?
Yes.
Yeah, I've played that. That's not bad. I kind of for like a co-op shooter type. Well, it's third person, Mike. So I don't know if you care for that, but that one, Fireteam Elite's pretty fun.
I've seen
There's
gameplay.
too many of those.
Yeah, like there's a lot of them, and I'm like, it looks okay. It doesn't look to me like, oh man, I can't miss that. Like it
Yeah.
looks okay. But moving on. Final Fantasy VII Remake would be next, and that is Final Fantasy VII is just one of those greatest games ever kind of thing, and this is on PS Plus, and it's there to play at no additional cost to me, and it's supposed to be really good, and it looks really awesome, and it's just been sitting. Because I actually did buy this game once, and the disc I got sent did not work. And I wound up returning it and not repurchasing it. Like, the person I bought it from, it was like one of those, like, Amazon purchases where, like, the dealer had one game, and they couldn't replace it, so it was just get a refund, and I never wound up buying it again. So I tried to play it, but failed. So, looking forward to that one.
That one's weird just because it's so different from the original game.
Well, yeah,
yeah, it's an action game rather than like a
Traditional
strategic
JRPG.
turn based.
yeah,
And also the story's different.
well, don't spoil that.
I heard that as
Don't-
well.
I haven't. I've heard that there's differences, but I don't know what they are yet. So,
Yeah, I don't either. I just know they're
oh
different.
wow,
I believe this game is getting released in chapters. I want to say there's only been two chapters released
just
so far.
one.
Just the
The
one.
next one releases
just the
like
one?
this winter or like
Okay.
next spring, something like that.
And maybe the final one will be released this decade because they haven't confirmed it's only a trilogy. I don't think.
Yeah, it's just the next one is soon. It is soon because I think the last one was 2020, right? This is almost 2 years now.
Mhm.
So
Which makes sense if they're really just making new games.
yeah,
They're not really like remastering it.
Well, they're
It's
using the
basically a whole
character-
fucking game.
yeah, they're using the characters, but they're rebuilding it in the modern Final Fantasy style, which
No, I mean, if you look at the graphics, though, you have to completely redesign what Cloud looks like to go from that
Yeah.
PS1 graphic to modern. Like, that's nothing
Yeah.
I don't think carried over. I can't imagine.
no, there was
Yeah,
no
'cause
assets
the old-
shared. It was just
Yeah.
like the closest thing I
But
think is the
even-
Buster Sword, probably.
I wonder if even, like, design docs, they had to redo everything. Just, like, concept art.
Yeah.
all the guys in the original Final Fantasy on PS1 looked like Popeye with that huge forearm.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
right, next one.
But next one is Spider-Man Miles Morales. Kind of the same thing with it sitting there on the PS Plus store, and it's there to play at no cost for me. And the original Spider-Man game was that. The best way I can describe that first one is that game had a fast travel option that I never once used. You could fast travel in that game, and I don't think anybody did. Just because being Spider-Man swinging around the city felt like you were actually Spider-Man swinging around a city. And it was just so much damn fun that I really want to play this one as well.
Well, I know where my vote's going.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. There's still more stuff on this list. But next up is Metroid Dread. We talked about this one a while back, and I've kind of been meaning to get to it. And it's one of those Switch exclusive things where I haven't picked up my Switch in probably 2-3 months. And it would probably be next up on Switch for me. And I just have to sit down and actually get to it. But looks amazing. I've heard that it's a continuation of the story, which is good. It's not a reset or anything like that. And I've heard some pretty good things about it. Yeah. And so I guess we'll come to this last choice on the list. I'll tell you what you guys turned down. It's not a part of this. You can't vote for BioShock 2 because I played BioShock 1. You can't vote for BioShock 2 or BioShock Infinite. They got pushed off the list. And I'm going to discuss this as a strange entry to the back catalog, I guess. Which, I don't know. Ian told me just to do it when I brought up Monster Hunter before. So in this case, I'm considering this my back catalog because it's a series I haven't played in probably 10 years, and that is Madden. I would be interested to actually hop back into Madden on one of the new games and see what the hell Madden is like today. And because I used to play when I was younger, I played Madden all the fucking time. It was great. And then I just kind of phased out of it through the years of like, this is the same game every year. And
2K was better. I want to go on record. 2K football was better.
For a short period, yes.
For one game.
Yeah, like it was. Madden caught up back again pretty quick. In my opinion.
No, 2K wasn't allowed to make games ever again.
Yeah, Madden bought the license shortly after 2K got good.
Well, like 2K had 2K. I think they had
2K5 was the last one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I want to say they had like
best one.
A few games, but
it's the first or second one where 2K got the ESPN license to make football.
Yeah,
That's
and then you had like the animated Chris Berman in there.
Yeah,
that
those
was hilarious.
Games, they were great.
But nonetheless, I'm interested to hop in and see what it's like today. I understand there's like a career mode where you create your own player and kind of play through an entire career as that player only. That's interesting. That's different. And
that used to be like a story mode where you would like Friday Night Lights bullshit. They scrapped that this year to not do as much with the story because I think they got lost hold of it.
How long was that a part of the game?
I'm not sure. I haven't also played Madden in a while, but I know that they were doing that. The 2K basketball games do a similar-ish thing.
I've heard about that.
I know this year's Madden is supposed to be one of the better ones in recent times.
Okay.
It has less game-breaking bugs, though I did see a video where a long snapper wouldn't hike the ball, so the play lasted over 5 minutes because the long snapper was just crouched over waiting to snap the ball still.
Nice.
He might still be doing it to this day.
I think I saw a similar bug where it's like somebody was playing on the field and the Saints front office was literally on the 50-yard line and they couldn't see through it. It was just the front office. Like the walls were there's no roof, but you were in the office. It was just on midfield of the football field.
That's a fun bug, right?
But it does open with a fun tribute to John Madden where you're playing like with him and they're really giving him a lot of respect, and it's like the John Madden models from when he was a Raiders coach.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason that like I was like, let me go back to it. That started to churn that up. And yeah, I mean, it's there with Game Pass is at least a 10-hour game preview that I can play and find out, which I think would constitute enough time with Madden to check the box on having the back catalog completed if I did that 10 hours, you know? So, yeah, it's just kind of there as one that I'd like to try again. I don't know that I'm going to like it, and it's definitely really different than Madden. I'm going to probably say 10, 11 was probably the last one that I played, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's got to be way different.
Ian, you said you haven't played Madden for a while because you seem like, do you just follow it? Do you know that much about it? Is it?
Well, I mean, when it comes out, it starts the fall video game season, so everyone talks about it. So the podcast I listen to usually cover Madden because there's nothing else coming out during the time. So I keep up relative with Madden, but as Mike said, not a ton's changed. I know this year there's some new passing options with multiple buttons and like looking around. You can turn off immediately if you wish.
Okay.
Nice.
So that,
and there's the whole MUT thing. Ultimate Team. That whole bullshit.
What is that?
Oh, that's the thing where you buy the packs of cards to build your own custom team to play online against other people. It's the whaling. You spend real money
like
to buy
real
packs
money.
of cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's real big
God.
for FIFA because that's an international sport.
Yeah.
But Madden has it too, and it's
Does every EA game do this now?
every sports game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think FIFA started it, right? I remember FIFA being real big with it.
Well, I don't know which one maybe started it. I think they all just came out at like the same year. It was just an internal strategy to switch to this.
Yeah, and once it started making money,
And-
you'll never see it leave one of these games now.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
barf.
I feel like
FIFA definitely makes the most money because it sells the most copies, but
I feel like there was an old version of that before there was microtransactions, where like you could get like legendary players to be a part of your franchise team or whatever when you were just playing offline.
maybe. I know there was that 2K game where they signed like retired players that wasn't affiliated with the NFL, where you had like that system.
Okay.
They like even ranked them like here's a gold, silver, and bronze. You could have like 1 gold player, 2 silvers, and 3 bronzes, and then everyone else on the team was a rando because they didn't have the license to the NFL.
Oh. That's fun.
But you could play as O.J. Simpson,
Nice.
and there was a team of I forget what their name was, but they had a stabbing motion. It was like there was a big stabber like mascot thing on the field, and you could be O.J. Simpson on that team.
Great.
Oh Lord.
Anyways, I vote Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread for me, and all right.
That's actually where my vote's going.
Oh man, I'm striking out again. Obviously Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Both of those games I think are fucking fantastic, and if you like the first one that much, I think you'll like Miles just as much.
Cool. Have you guys played Metroid Dread yet, or?
I have
No.
yet to play. I played a little bit of original Metroid for Nintendo, and it got really difficult, and I stopped playing it because it was really difficult. So,
Fair enough.
I haven't played it. I've seen some of it. It looks really great, like for a modern interpretation of 2D Metroid. I'm really happy they brought the series back in that direction. I think Nintendo kind of doesn't respect the Metroid franchise as much as their fans wish they did. Hence why this is the first Metroid game since the GameCube.
Yeah.
And also the first 2D Metroid game since the Game Boy Color, I think.
I didn't play
probably
those
true.
ones. The
Been a while.
last time I played a 2D Metroid was literally Super Metroid. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because there was even like the DS games that were 3D. So it's been a very tough road for this franchise, and I think it's a really cool style, like going back into that retro thing. And as you can see from my list, I've kind of been falling into that from time to time still.
cool. Metroid Dread it is.
All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Andy, what do you got on your list? What do you got on your list?
so I didn't go through the whole do a bunch of research and stuff on any of mine. I literally just wrote down titles. So the first one I wrote down was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Ooh, okay.
And I believe it has it's not as difficult as Souls-like games, but it's the closest Star Wars Souls-like, I guess, that there is. The gameplay looks really interesting. It looks like it does have some difficulty to it, but I feel like that actually is something that you can like scale down or scale up. So
Yeah, there is a difficulty setting in that game. You can turn it up and down based on what you prefer.
And you can glam it up a little bit with the PS5 upgrade, which I'm hoping to do. So,
Yep, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Next up.
the second one on my list is Warriors Orochi 4. It's Dynasty Warriors, except they're fighting demons in a different plane or some kind of thing like that.
Okay,
I remember my
gotcha.
brother playing the third one, and I was getting the Dynasty Warriors itch to play, so I bought it, and then I literally put it down and never touched it. So the third one on my list might be a bit of a surprise, but it's an oldie. I have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, you've never played that?
I've never played that.
And the remake just
when
got canceled.
And when I saw that the Xbox One had backwards compatibility to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, I did find one at Half Price Books once and ended up picking it up.
Nice.
Never popped it in, and it's sitting there staring at me, saying, "Play me. I have a really good story," but I have not.
Wait, back up for a second. I want to, Mike. That remake got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about that?
I thought they were
I didn't
moving
hear about
studios for that. I didn't think it got canceled.
I mean, they have not. They announced that it was no longer in production, and they have not announced that it's
Okay,
back
I thought.
in production.
Yeah, I thought the
Like,
last I heard was Aspire wasn't doing it. It was moving to Saber, and that Saber was picking up where Aspire left off. That's the last I heard. Now I don't know if
I
there could
hope
have been an
that's
update since
true.
then. That's why I'm.
But I'll look into it because
Okay.
the last I had heard was it was canned.
Yeah, I
Because
think,
the
like-
studio
So
was
the game's
canned.
not coming out.
I thought like suspended indefinitely type of thing. Like they're gonna try to fix it and
That's-
work on it, but
No, it's
yeah,
come on.
nothing. I hadn't seen the official cancel. I saw that the official PR release was they're moving. I thought they were moving production to a different studio. That the game was still, as of right now, being worked on. But anyway, I didn't want to get to. I just thought there may be something happened that I missed.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
I just assume dead when I hear all that stuff.
Yeah,
Kind of
okay.
what Ian said, like it's.
Yeah, you're probably right. I just hadn't seen the official like it's done now thing. But anyway, sorry, Andy, go ahead. Number 4.
Number 4 is sort of a duo. Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year and Batman Arkham City Game of the Year. I combine them. They're, just
So you would
sequels
start
to
with
another.
Arkham Asylum, but eventually probably get to City also.
Right.
Okay.
Have you
And I've
played
heard-
Arkham Knight?
I have not played any Arkham games.
Yeah,
You
definitely
should
start.
include
Yeah,
Arkham
go through the
too.
trilogy. Yeah, Asylum would be a
Arkham-
good place to start.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum is the first.
Yes.
And I got the Game of the Year edition on PS3 how long ago, and it's, awesome. I've heard.
Yes.
But I just haven't played it,
I don't know, Andy. You got a good list here. I'm having a really hard time figuring out what to tell you to play.
I'm venturing to guess you're not going to tell me to play Orochi 4, but
Fair.
the fifth game I have on here is Lego Star Wars Force Awakens,
Ooh, okay.
because it's literally the last Lego game that we picked up, and we haven't played it at all. So
See, I'd even tell you to just say screw that right now, and like if you're gonna play a Star Wars Lego game, just hold out for
just
like
go
the
with
Rise of Skywalker
Skywalker saga.
something. Yeah, wait for that to go on sale and grab it. Because it's probably going to be a lot of repeating stuff, and I've heard the Rise of Skywalker, or like the Skywalker Saga edition is really, really good.
I've also heard that, but
And it's going to
that
include most of that
wasn't
Force Awakens game.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't even like on the table when we bought this one. So it
Fair.
was like that came out, and I was like, well, that makes that sort of meaningless. So
Yeah.
but it is sitting there staring at me in the face, wanting me to play it, and I just haven't. So
Yeah, I think I want to point you to, like, I think Fallen Order is a good game. I think the Batman Arkham trilogy is fucking fantastic, so I feel like that's where I want to point you.
oh really?
Yes.
I was surprised you didn't say Coder.
I don't know, like it's a good game. I don't know. It's hard for me to turn down Star Wars, but something about Batman is really sticking out to me right now.
It's sticking you in the back.
Oh, true. Yeah, my chair is Batman, so Batman's always behind me.
I kind of feel the way Brian does in that it's a really tough choice there. Fallen Order is extremely good, but it was also, for me, a little disappointing in some ways. I'd still rate it very high, but I feel like it could have been better. Like, it needed more lightsaber fights and less fighting not lightsaber wielders, which it's tough to do in the canon of the era it takes place in. But they chose to tell the story during that era. They could have told a story from a different era where there could have been more lightsaber fights. Knights of the Old Republic, I honestly would have to lean that way over Batman, but that's splitting hairs because Batman's the best superhero game ever made. Those Arkham Asylum game, the Arkham series, I guess.
No, it's Saints Row 4.
So Batman Arkham games are the best superhero games ever made.
Licensed.
I would argue Spider-Man's up there. I would put Batman and the Spider-Man games neck and neck for me.
Yeah. I wouldn't say much. I don't have anything bad to say about Spider-Man. I just think Batman had more unique mechanics to it than, like, with the bosses and stuff. Like, I feel like Batman was more interesting to play and Spider-Man was more fun.
Okay.
Like, Spider-Man, you could just kind of swing around, button mash, mess around, or you could get really intricate combos, whereas Batman was more thinking involved in how you played Batman, which makes sense for the character. I mean, both of these things make sense for the characters. But yeah, I would still say do Knights of the Old Republic, because that one's just... I feel like one that might be more up your alley, because it's very RPG heavy. And
traditional turn-based RPG. Like, it's not the action RPG type of stuff.
I'd put it somewhere in between, because it is turn-based, but it's not...
real-time turn-based.
Yeah, real-time turn-based.
Yeah,
it's not JRPG style. But, like, you get to go to Mandalore. You get to go to these places. Like, it's... That's why the updated version, I'm so sad that it's probably dead, because that game looks good for its time. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never owned original Xbox, so I never actually played it, you know?
Oh, that's right. You're always a PlayStation guy.
And then when the 360 came out, it wasn't backwards compatible to Coder, so I just...
And I guess that would be the difference in the caveat, I would say. Do the Knights of the Old Republic game, you can probably skip the second one. When you go to the Batman games, play all three.
Okay.
Ian, where do you fall? I'm assuming you're going to be the one for the Dynasty Warriors-esque game.
This was a super easy choice. It was going to be Warriors Orochi 4 until... outside of Star Fox 64, Knights of the Old Republic is the game I've played start to finish the most.
Huh.
Because the time difference, it's really quick to beat Star Fox. Compared to the 50-some, 40, 30, 20 to 50 hours I can put into KOTOR, depending on how that playthrough is. It's possibly my favorite BioWare game. It's what got me started, like, recognizing them as a studio. It's probably my favorite Star Wars game ever. The only close competition is Knights of the Old Republic 2 for that title, which is also one of my favorite Obsidian games of all time. Who also let me know what that studio is. It's just a magical adventure of Star Warsness where you get to talk to a bunch of different aliens and fuck around and be your own man or woman in the Star Wars universe. And you don't have to give a shit about whether or not Palpatine's alive or dead. You don't have to care about whether or not the Skywalkers is even a real thing. You do not have to care about fucking them ruining the saga with a 7th movie. You just get to watch and play, to do your own Star Wars story, good or evil, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay. I mean, you get to pick your own armor. Like, you can be a Jedi Mandalorian if you want to. Like, it's
slick.
Yeah, like, it's awesome.
And if you wanted to, you could just always use blasters.
Yep.
Now, can you carry over characters and stuff
No.
from 1 to 2? No.
No.
Nope. Different
Yeah,
story.
different
Yeah.
characters, different story.
Okay.
That's like a different era too, isn't it? Isn't it like
It's
it's the same like
It's like
Old
10
Republic, but it's like a
it's five. It's between like within 5-10 years, I
Okay.
think.
oh really? I thought it was longer than that. It's been a long time since I
No.
played 2, but
The MMO has a bigger time jump,
okay, maybe that's what I was thinking about because
but it's still within like I want to say 50 years.
Oh, well, there you go, Andy. You got your pick.
Yep.
Looks like KOTOR for you.
I'm
KOTOR.
surprised that all of these have had at least 2 people agree.
Yeah, I am too. I've lost
That
every
was-
one of these. It doesn't
that
matter
was a
for me.
tough
Well, no one's surprised about that.
I honestly thought we were gonna have 3 disagreements here. On
I was
this
expecting
one,
it. Yeah.
but
This is going a lot smoother than I had anticipated. uh,
Okay, so here's Brian's list. It's I don't know.
good.
You
You're
already
trying to
played
predict.
the Avengers game. Played the Guardians games. Is it Death Stranding? That's what I'm going with Death Stranding.
Death Stranding did not make
It's
my
on
list.
PC.
they're all
Game
Strand
Pass.
games either way, though, right? Like his whole list is gonna be
How many
Strand games.
Strand type games?
How many Strand games have showed up on the list so far?
None,
yeah.
I don't think. Yeah.
But no Strand type games.
Oh wow, that's
I'm sure I'll keep
impressive.
that trend going. All right, so my 5. Again, in no particular order. First one for me, Just Cause 4. I think that series is just fun as hell to just jump in and just fuck around. Like I don't think I ever played the first one. I played the second one, which I never finished. I played the third one, which I did finish, and most of the DLC, and kind of wanted to jump into 4 right after that, and then just didn't, and then now it's been sitting there. But some of the, at least with 3, there's like so much that you can do and so much crap happening at once. The game breaks all the time. Like it just 3 was crashing for me continuously to the point where like it would crash a couple times and I'd just have to put it down and then come back to it like a couple days later and try again and see if it starts working. So that was a little bit of hesitancy with 4 for me too. Like I just didn't want to play a game that's just going to keep crashing and breaking. But because like they added the weather effects in 4, so like all the tornadoes and storms and shit happen on top of all the destruction and shit that already happens in all those games. So it felt like there's going to be too much going on, and I'm expecting it to break. But at the same time, there's so much fun that I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to deal with it, and it should be fine.
What console was that for?
Xbox One. I don't know if that one has a Series X upgrade for it or not. I'd have to look.
I had the same problem with crashing, making me stop playing a game with Rage 2.
Okay,
And
yeah.
that game was so fun, but it crashed all the time, and I was just like, fuck it.
That's
I'm
on the
just
list
done.
of games I started that never finished.
For me, it's because it crashed all the time. Like,
Yeah.
So.
Next one would be Doom, which I want to play that and Doom Eternal, so that would sort of be like
So you
together,
mean,
but
like,
I'd start with Doom.
2016 is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
Not like the
Okay.
original Doom.
Correct.
Okay.
But what about original Doom with the hentai mod?
Yeah, no, that's not on my list. Nope.
It just made my list.
Honorable mention for Mike. Yeah, it's another one that like I think it's a different style of game because I think it's a lot faster paced than probably what I'm used to for a shooter. So it'd be a change of pace for me. But I've heard such good things about that and even Eternal that I do want to try them at some point. And they're accessible through Game Pass, so they're just kind of sitting there staring at me.
And the good thing for those two specifically is even from Doom to Doom Eternal, they are unique enough from each other that they feel like different games.
Okay, so
It's
playing
not gonna
back to
feel
back
like-
isn't too bad.
Right. It's not going to feel like hopping from a Call of Duty campaign to the next Call of Duty campaign where it's like the same damn thing.
Right. Next one, BioShock. So it didn't make Mike's cut, but it's going to make mine. I have not played any of the 3 BioShock games.
Okay.
I own the trilogy. I bought them on sale for like $10 or $15 on a Black Friday sale, like probably 2 years ago, and they've been sitting on my console ever since.
So is it does it have the remastered version of the first one, or is it just the normal version?
It's the Xbox One version of all that stuff. So it's like
So the remastered one and then
Yeah.
just 2 and Infinite. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the whatever the trilogy is that they sell together, which I think is the
Like a
remastered one.
BioShock collection or something.
Yeah, that one.
It's,
So yeah, I have all 3 of them sitting on my console, just waiting to be played, and I haven't done anything with them yet. But that's a game that was back on what, like 360 era. So, and I know those
Came out
have
the same
been.
year as Mass Effect.
Oh Jesus. Okay, now I'm really dating myself as to when I get to some of these games, but yeah, that's another one that's just been on my list. Like I've heard very good things about the entire trilogy, even so, and it's more like I want to dive into it. I want to play all three, but then just the time commitment there, like I haven't just gone in and tried to do it yet. Next one for me, Horizon Zero Dawn. I would like to play through the two of those games, but I haven't played the first one, so I would start with Zero Dawn. Which I know Ian's friend Jason, Horizon Zero Dawn is like the one game he talks about all the time as the best thing ever. So there's been some
And
glowing reviews.
While not a Strand type game, it takes place in a Strand type world.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's the closest thing to a Strand game we have mentioned.
Wow.
Last one for me, Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation. I have looked at that. I think it's a beautiful looking game. I've seen some gameplay and stuff of it. Again, something else that I think looks really cool. I think it'd be really fun. I just haven't taken the time to try to dive into it. I end up going Xbox first, so a lot of the stuff on PlayStation, like I will see, and I'll just automatically just go to the back catalog because PlayStation seems to be my first console of choice. Just that's the where I sit down and tend to play everything first. So
you mean Xbox is your?
What?
Did you say PlayStation is your console of choice?
I meant Xbox. Did I say PlayStation? Yeah, I meant Xbox. Yes.
You did. And you confused everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm already screwed up. Yeah. Xbox is my go-to console. So all the stuff for PlayStation just automatically kind of ends up on the back burner.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my 5. So give me some direction.
So my 2006 game of the year was BioShock over Mass Effect. So I know BioShock. I think it is one of the at the time it was one of the better shooters I had played. I think, especially again for the time, because we're talking about a 16-year-old video game.
Yeah.
It at that point it really helped elevate that conversation of video games of works of art. I think it was just kind of a masterclass in storytelling, physical world building of like what the world actually looks like in design.
Yeah.
And it's kind of spooky, so I'm kind of excited for you to be scared by it. Because I know you will be. And I was at the time, I had gotten real big into reading. I had read Atlas Shrugged.
Okay.
So I was real big into Ayn Rand, which is what this universe is about. Is if someone was like, let's just do it, you know? Let's just make like an Ayn Rand city and see what happens. And you find out what happens, apparently, when you make an Ayn Rand city underneath the waters, away from all the governments of the world. It's a brilliant game that has, I think, one of the best stories I've seen, and it has some great foreshadowing of just the story coming up that I think it does a marvelous job, and I'm kind of disappointed. I don't think there was ever another BioShock game like that first one.
Have you played the other two or just the first one?
Just the first one. The other two didn't interest me enough to ever jump back into that series.
Gotcha.
And I think BioShock has one of the best moments in any game I played in a long time. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's there, and it's amazing. And it's just like this story shift that's just like, oh shit. And it was incredible. Like, it was a really, really strong point for it. The rest of your list, Ghost of Tsushima, just play Sekiro, it's better. I just played Ghost of Tsushima, I just finished it recently. It's beautiful, but it's very, very repetitive in the gameplay. There's not a lot of variance. It's shoot your bow, swing your sword, and I don't know. Like, I feel like it was really good. It just, that mile wide and inch deep kind of thing for me.
Yeah, that's all the Souls games, though.
Dark
Souls
bit,
is just
but
roll and swing your sword.
Well, I wouldn't consider Ghost of Tsushima a
roll,
Souls
swing,
game.
backstab.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just meant that genre. You brought up Sekiro.
Well, Sekiro is made by FromSoft, but it's on its own. Like, if you're looking at like both of those games, like Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro, were based on swordplay, and the swordplay is just so much better in Sekiro that I couldn't recommend Ghost first. They're both really good.
If we're
games.
talking about swordplay, Mordhau, that's the one. It's a multiplayer medieval game.
That's against other
where you
people.
Control the sword with your mouse.
Yeah,
it's fun. And there's guys with lutes just banging on their lutes in the middle of fights.
And
brave Sir Robin.
I think
Sir Robin.
Ian and I had both discussed previously the Horizon Zero Dawn being a little bit disappointing. Kind of like it's
Yeah,
there.
I don't
it's
like
decent.
it nearly as much as Jason.
Yeah, like it's decent, but it would like among the other games on your list, I would probably put it last.
Okay. Okay.
And Just Cause, I know it looks fun. I have not played any of them, so I couldn't recommend it. And of course, my recommendation is Doom.
Okay. I really thought you were leaning BioShock the way you started this. So
no, like I have Doom tattooed on me. Like it's not. There's a reason. Like Doom is Doom for me. Like those games. I feel like what Doom did with their first and with Eternal are both starting to change the first-person shooter genre again. The way that they did the first time. You're starting to see other games start to include these things. Like even Destiny just added a Doom dodge to Titans. And you're seeing, I think, Witchfire, that game that has a little bit of a Destiny, Doom, Dark Souls kind of look to it, started using, like, the movement in that game feels like Doom. Like, they're just copy and pasting how you move in Doom. And it's a game you can choose your difficulty.
yeah.
So, like, if you want that crazy challenge, you can put yourself through hell, literally, to get there. Or,
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't start there. Maybe if I work up to that, we'll see. But
yeah, or you can go through it. Like, I don't recommend putting it on easy, because then it's not going to be like Doom is meant to. Those games are meant to be fast paced and intense, not necessarily hard, but intense. Where they're you're not dying a lot, but you're shooting a lot of things, and there's a lot going on,
constantly moving and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, definitely Doom for me.
Okay. Andy, you could be the deciding factor
Well,
here.
I mean, I think this is going to be the first time where we all disagree.
Figures.
I've never played the newer Dooms. Just Cause, I've seen my nephew play Just Cause 3, I believe it was, and it's too chaotic for me. The BioShock, while it looks interesting, I've never played those. And what was your fourth one?
Horizon and Ghost of
just,
Tsushima.
Horizon just doesn't. I've heard the reviews on it from these two, and it didn't really interest me to begin. But Ghost of Tsushima is a game that I really looked forward to before it came out, and then just never bought it because it would just go straight to my back catalog. And I actually kind of forgot about it for this list because I didn't really actually buy it, and I was just trying to I went over to my game cupboard and I was like, okay, what haven't I? I haven't played. I haven't played that. I haven't played that. So. My vote here is Ghost of Tsushima, and I've heard that the mechanically in the fights get a little tedious, or not tedious necessarily, but boring or similar. You're doing the same thing over and over. But still, it looks like it is just a beautiful game, and I've heard the story is actually pretty good. So that's my vote.
The story is fantastic. That's something like between Sekiro and Ghost's story is 100 times better. It's just like Ghost has the story. It's prettier.
Yeah.
There's a lot to go with there.
Well, now I don't know what to do here. How do I decide?
I'm excited.
Well, you play Heavy Metal Fuck 2.
I'm excited about the soundtrack for it. I don't know. I like the Asian cultural sort of influenced music and stuff, so I just think that would be really fun.
I mean, I guess really my decision here is I got to do all three of those, right? Those are my next three. I just have to pick those three in any order and just go through those.
I was going to say, I think the vote comes down to you then. You should tell the viewers what among the three we've chosen, which one are you playing next?
Yeah.
Now you have to make a choice.
You don't get to choose the other two, though.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like
Fortnite Battle Pass.
I feel like because I've probably owned BioShock the longest out of all of those, it's gonna have to be that one.
I don't think
that has been sitting on my shelf the longest out of the five.
Yeah, I don't think you could have made a bad choice there. So I think that's a solid choice. Yeah.
It might be the shortest too, but it and Doom are probably roughly similar length.
Okay.
Yeah, I just played BioShock for the first time, and I can say that was about 16 hours. If you look for the collectibles, which I know Brian does.
Yeah.
So
I'll start and then I'll give up halfway through. That's usually what happens.
Yeah, it's a third of the way through Doom. I was like, I'm trying to play the game.
I judge it if I'm going to do collectibles. I generally like I'll collect them if I find them as I'm going, but I don't specifically look for them. And then if the game's good enough as to I end the game, I go back and find all the collectibles. You know, like Dead Space, I did that.
Yeah, the replayability.
Yeah, I was like, finish the game. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna actually go find that stuff now because this game is awesome.
Yeah, going forward, I would need a NFT awarded to me to get a collectible that I could then sell to other people so they could pretend they collected all of the collectibles in the game by using my non-fungible token I sold to them.
And, I mean,
Oh shit, is that achievements? Is that what they're going to be now? Non-fungible tokens? That I
Don't
can
give them any
sell?
ideas for NFTs. Just drop it here.
yeah.
What I want is a I want a
Call
fungible
Todd.
token. Is what I want.
I'm pretty sure that's just $1, isn't it?
Well, but not. We're talking about achievement specifically. We need a fungible token achievement. So Microsoft needs to mail me little circles
Yeah,
with gamer
yeah,
scores on
like,
them for each time
I
I, get
wanna
an
f-
achievement.
I mean, that's basically like the Destiny badges, right? When you get your seal, you can get the
Yeah.
seal sent to you.
That's a fungible token.
For the first time ever, I just ordered something for achieving something in Destiny because they put up a poster for completing the King's Fall raid within X number of days. And it was like this really cool poster, and it was only like $20. And
Yeah.
they're like, here's this silver ring for $150. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't wear rings.
I was gonna say, okay, it was an actual. Well, you could have known. You get a chain, and that your
Yeah.
ring.
I don't wear those either. I don't wear jewelry.
Well, you wear them to the Ren Fair.
Oh,
And if someone goes to look at it, you go, "My precious!" Ah!
It's just your excuse to growl at everyone at the run fair. All right. Well, I think we've had a productive morning here, deciding what everyone is playing next. I don't know if anybody else would do it. I mean, I guess maybe more towards Mike or Ian, but now that we've decided on the podcast what we're going to play next, I would probably even, at least for me, if anybody listening wants to actually watch any of us play this shit, like we all have access to stream this stuff. If you want to watch us play the stuff we've decided on today, let us know. We'll see if we can set some streams up and you can, I don't know, hang out with us as we play these all for the first time.
My only issue is I don't know how Jake my game is to know if I can stream it.
You get Twitch banned as soon as you start
Yeah.
streaming your game.
Not even that. I'm not 100% sure it runs. 'Cause it's so old.
what year was it made?
It's
You said like 2003, right?
I think, yeah.
And are you playing are you playing an emulator, or are you?
Oh no, I mean it's a PC game. It's just it's considered abandonware now, so it's just like free because it's not
Okay.
being sold anywhere. But like I said, the issue is more.
Well, you got to test it before.
I also don't know if the game was. I don't know if the game was coded well. I don't even know if it'll screen capture. That's what I just mean. It's gonna take me a little bit to make sure it works. August 4th, 2000.
Okay.
I mean, all this could be moot anyway. Like, ultimately, it's up to you guys if you wanted to stream it in the first place. But
No,
if there's
sorry,
an
I'm
audience
just-
there, if anyone cares,
I'm just running through the
Even if
logistics
there's not,
of this
nobody
one.
cares what I stream. Just do it anyways. It's fun.
well, then that's fine too. We will try to pass along if we ever decide to stream these or when that happens. And if you're interested, you can pop in and check us out, and have fun with us as we experience all this shit for the first time.
Did you pick a game, Brian?
Yeah, BioShock.
Oh, because it's the oldest. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to see you stream that just to see if you yell in the beginning.
Oh God. Okay. You mean I have to have the camera on for everything and that too? I can't just.
But
I would prefer
the
that.
twist and
It's not that scary. Like
don't reveal it. Yeah.
No, but for Brian it is.
Andy, go
I
ahead.
don't reveal
No,
what.
no. I was gonna say something, but me saying it would have revealed. Yeah. No. Yep.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
Mhm.
Yeah. Don't spoil anything for him, because
All right, I guess that's it for us. We've got some direction. We'll see. Like, we'll have to check back and see how quickly we all get to these games and what we think of them. We'll check in, hopefully periodically, after you've played some of these games and see what we think as we're going. And if we have to do this again and decide what to play next after that, then we can reconvene. I'm actually surprised like Stray didn't hit Andy's list. Like I really
Yeah,
thought Stray would be
I
on your
didn't
list.
put it on there just because I strictly went with just like the actual physical versions that I had, and I really do want
Okay.
to play Stray, but I could have gone through and like looked at all of the PlayStation games that
Like
I can
PS
play,
Plus stuff.
like the games with gold
Yeah.
and all the Game Pass games and stuff. And I'm like, let's not like convolute this with stuff that
Overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, so I literally went over to the cabinet and was like, oh yeah, I never played that. That looks awesome. Oh, I never played that. That looks awesome. So that was my
Gotcha.
strategy.
I like it. You made a list and
Yeah,
everything. I'm proud
keep
of
it
you.
simple, stupid is what I said in my head.
All right, I guess that's it for us. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Be sure to give us a share on social media. You can follow or subscribe to the show to keep up with us. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google, Anchor, Stitcher, Amazon, hopefully anywhere you're listening to podcasts, you can find us. Check us out on Facebook, search Bry Guy into Super Friends, or go to facebook.com/Bry Guy Super Friends. You can send us questions, comments, topic suggestions, any of that stuff there. Try to email us, bryguysuperfriends@gmail.com. It is legit, it works, I won't check it. Hit us up on Twitter @BGSuperFriends, that I can check, that I will see. Again, if you want to watch some streams, I am at Jedi Bry Guy on Twitch. That's Jedi with an I, Bry with a Y. We've done live podcast recordings there. If I decide to play anything, I will do it there. If I decide to do BioShock, I will do it there, maybe just for Ian's enjoyment. Anything, I don't know if you, Mike or Ian, if you guys plan on streaming anything, do you want to plug anything?
I mean, I'm Darth Pool on Twitch. Find me there.
I know a guy. He's really cool. His name's Partybone. Twitch.tv/Partybone. He's the #1 Partybone elf machine.
Nice. Yeah, so check us out, and that's it for us. On behalf of Andy, Ian, Mike, and myself, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next time.